Hey everyone, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where today it is time for something new. A miscellaneous topics episode. We're coming to you in several parts. I have decided that there are a bunch of little things in this game that don't quite fit having their own full episode dedicated to them, or things that take up quite a bit of time if I stick them at the beginning of, say, the main story episodes, like loot that I've been collecting from dungeons and such. So I've decided to start somewhat regularly doing these miscellaneous episodes where I cover just miscellaneous topics that have come up recently in the game. It'll be things like recent crafting, or recent loot, or any extra information that I picked up just about things I've learned recently that maybe I'm issuing corrections on for earlier episodes. I might be doing things like Triple Triad will be in here, though obviously it's going to be extremely abbreviated because Triple Triad's just Triple Triad. Once it's fun to play, but once you've seen it, you've seen it. So yeah, miscellaneous topics are going to start going in these miscellaneous topics videos. And to begin, I am almost completely caught up on duty loot. The only thing I'm missing is the Triple Triad card from the Void Arc. Other than that, I have all of the duty loot in my inventory ready to be accepted. Okay, so I have a list right here. Let's start going down it. We have the Ul'Dan Half Barding, which we get from Grand Company Seals. We have the Ul'Dan Barding from Grand Company Seals. We have the Ul'Dan Crested Bardings from Grand Company Seals. We got the Warcard Chirte Framers Kit from the current PvP series for patch 7.4. I got Mammoth number 003U from finishing off the the Immortal Flames Grand Company hunting log. We got the Flame Hatchling for Grand Company Seals from the Immortal Flames. We got, skipping ahead a little bit, the Hall of Flames Orchestrion Roll, Grand Company Seals for the Immortal Flames. I went and did all the Immortal Flame stuff over the course of 2 or 3 weeks. It went really quickly, actually. Sand Secrets, also from the Immortal Flames. From the Maelstrom, there were a few Orchestrion rolls that I missed. We got Maelstrom Command and Ripples in the Sea. Next up, from Wyvernskin Treasure Maps, which are level 60. They are the easiest of the level 60 treasure maps. We got the Unspoken Orchestrion roll. From doing Waterside 19 explorations with our retainers, specifically our fishing retainer, we got the Gestalt minion. He's a cute puppy dog, yes he is. Yes, he is a cute puppy dog. A cute puppy dog, yes he is. Oh, such a cute puppy dog, yes. Adorable. From the World of Darkness, I got the Onion Knight card. This is a pretty rare drop. I will note that a lot of this loot, particularly the minions and some of the Orchestrion rolls, I bought off the market board because I respect my time too much to just grind the same duties over and over trying to get this loot. When it is a very rare drop and also pretty cheap on the market board. I respect my time too much for that. The Triple Triad cards you do have to get yourself. You cannot trade these, so they cannot be sold on the market board. So I can't get them easily. So generally what I did was I did each duty until I got the Triple Triad card, and then if there was any loot that I didn't pick up from the duty by that point, I would buy it off the market board. Yeah, I felt like that was a pretty reasonable compromise. Anyways, from Somal, I got the Tielman card. I actually got this from the current Mogtomes event that is leading into patch 7.5, which was very fortunate that I had the Somal card that was struggling to appear for me. I figured, you know what, it's 7 Mogtomes, that's easy to grind out. Next up, we got the Slumber Eternal roll, also from Somal, and the Minion Gala Kitten from Somal. Rumors that the gods kill one of these adorable creatures every time a young man thinks pleasurable thoughts are unfounded. Good. That would be cruel. Next up from the area, we got the Needhug card. Ooh, and an achievement, nice. From the area, we also got the Lesser Panda. Lesser only in size to normal pandas, and in life expectancy, and intelligence, and fluffiness. Well, perhaps not fluffiness. From Neverreap, we got the Wakion card. Also from Neverreap, we got the Like a Summer Rain roll. Also from Neverreap is the Ugly Duckling. Will he turn into a graceful swan? Inquiring minds want to know. Okay, next up, St. Mosian's Arboretum. We actually already got the Belladonna roll from... Oh, what's her name? It was a triple triad match up in Idyllshire. It was Midnight Dew. So moving on to the other loot, we got the Poison Ivy roll from St. Mosian's Arboretum, and the Korpacher Kid. For best results, keep moist at all times. Caught that just in time. Next up from Pharaoh Sirius Hard, we got the Progenitrix card. And also from Pharaoh Sirius Hard, we got the Upon the Rocks roll. From the Void Arc, I got the Wind Up Echidna minion. A remarkably lifelike recreation of the shape-shifting seductress. Perhaps a tad too lifelike. And finally, the last two rewards are from Centurio Seals, which is the hunt currency for Heavensward and Stormblood. We got a Griffin Hatchling. Not to be confused with a Griffin Hatchling, a Griffin Hatchling, a Griffin Hatchling, or a Griffiths Hatchling. Amazing. And finally, the Behemoth Heir. Currently 47th in line to the Behemoth Throne. That one's actually used to spawn an S-rank Hunt Mark. Okay. There we go. That's a whole bunch of minions and loot out of the way. Let's check out the minion guide because, oh goodness, there's a lot. Behemoth Heir, to prove his bravery, a recently inducted member of Clan Centurio, journeyed alone into the Untamed North, and somehow returned unscathed with the broodling of the legendary Kaiser Behemoth. Not wishing to bring ill fortune on the clan, the pup was quickly passed on to you. Your mistress fights like a bloody behemoth 10 times her size. From my wounded chocobo hunter. Taoist Moogle. No, this one's not new. When did we get this one? This one was from Achievements. Here we go. Flame Hatchling. Raised by a flame private from an egg found abandoned in the company's stables, he was charged with cleaning. This adorable fledgling is a symbol of new beginnings for the immortal flames. Chocobo Dander can be a mite ripe from the Chocobo Keep. Next up on page 2 we have the Gala Kitten. Though its wings appear to be constructs of some sort rather than actual body parts, any who draw close are met with a violent flurry of scratching and punching, making it impossible to thoroughly inspect the creature's backside. Watch it! This kitten has claws! From Aldous! Haven't seen you in a long time. Page 3 we have... the Korpacher Kid. Before their exodus back to the old world, Charlie and Binus conducted extensive studies on Korpachers at St. Mosian's Arboretum. In their haste, the scientists left behind several samples which have, over the decades, continued to thrive and reproduce. Feels so soft and moist as a fresh spring shower from Ranu Valley. Griffin Hatchling. One night after ripping the heart from a griffin's breast and holding it aloft for gods and men to behold, a Clan Centurio hunter turned to see a tiny wide-eyed cub shivering in a now motherless nest. No! That's horrible! Unable to deliver the steel piece, he rescued the beast and named it Ben. Well, hello, Ben. You'd be surprised at how many end up sliced to ribbons by beak and talon from Fafafono. Wind Up Echidna, possibly one of countless clockwork servitors. Oh, it's this storyline! Crafted by a Gridanian goldsmith whose body went missing after being hanged for the crime of ritual summoning. Upon the doll's back is carved the following: "And in the endless darkness I found her, or was it she who found me?" The Gridanian goldsmith is an ongoing storyline about a minion crafter who made a lot of clockwork recreations of void scent that he wanted to have sex with. Advances in Vaki sorcery were made for one reason only: cataclysmic destructive power from Ketchi. Lesser Panda, there are several theories as to how a beastkin native to the mist-covered peaks of southeastern Ilsevard ended up thousands of leagues away from its home, and most involve an unhealthy infatuation with the furry creature by a certain imperial legatus. Stand up straight, maggot, from Berkoya. What? Oh, I don't see the relevance of this quote unless that quote is from the legatus. Next up, Gestal. Despite being found lapping up day-old vomit behind the Forgotten Knight, the air of nobility displayed by this pup as he rolled in the filth was proof enough of his royal bloodline, and before the night was through, an official pedigree was drawn up, changing Gestal's life forever. Nothing shall stand in our way, from Emperor Gestal. Ugly Duckling! After suffering countless barbs from its bullying brothers, this tiny cloudkin had enough and left its home on Neverreap to find someplace he'd be called beautiful too. Hissame he did, fierce as goose he was, from Jezel Awatan. And finally on page 4 we have Mammoth number 003U. Designed to be a standard bearer in Immortal Flame's company parades, these handcrafted automata were soon decommissioned due to the fact that their small stature ensured that no one could see the flags they carried. Feelings! Maybe she doesn't feel like part of the team, from Wedge. Alright, that is all the minions we picked up. That is a lot of minions. Ooh, our collection grew a lot. Where are we up to? 165 minions and 44 mounts. Our collection grows. Alright, next up, I'm going to be back once I have wrapped up Triple Triad, or once I've done the crafting for patches 3.0 and 3.1. Looks like focusing on the new Crafter and Gatherer gear, which is going to be handy, and crafts from the Extreme Trials. So I'll be back when I've finished one of those. I've got several tasks to take care of, it seems. Alright, we've got another part of our Miscellaneous Topics episode. This time we're going to be going over the crafted collectibles from patches 3.0 and 3.1. Well, not exclusively from 3.0 and 3.1, because technically Orchestrion didn't get added to like 3.3-ish. And some of these are Orchestrion rolls that are added in 3.5, but they're for duties that are from the base game. It's a mix of things from 3.0, 3.1 crafts, and also duties, crafts that you get from duties from 3.0 and 3.1. Just a mix of things that are basically relevant right now. Before we start accepting these into our list, I do want to go over some of the really interesting materials we needed to get for these because, ooh, it got weird. We need some Dawnboard Aether Sand, not too much, but that comes from Desynthesis, or sorry, from Ethereal Reduction, which I've gone over a few times now. And I just broke Teamcraft by trying to pull up the list of Ethereal Reduction spots. Oops. Here we go, fixed it. But yeah, interesting materials we need to pick up. We need to get a Ravana's 4-wing and a Hive 4-wing from fighting Ravana. One of these only comes from the Extreme. The other one comes from both the normal and the Extreme. Similarly, we need where is it? One Expanse Baleen and a Bismarck's Baleen from the Bismarck fights. One comes from the Extreme, one comes from both versions. We also need an Ifrit's Horn, which apparently only comes from Bolt of Ember's Hard, so not from the Extreme, so that's interesting. Going down the list, we need some Gobwalker shielding. We need 3 of those from floor 4 of Alexander, so A4N, which is going to be the Burden of the Father, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Burden of the Father will drop the Gobwalker shielding. We need 3 of those. What else do we need that is interesting? Orchestrion rolls. We need faded copies or Orchestrion rolls, 2 each from both of the Extremes from for Bismarck and Ravana. There's 2 from Bismarck, 2 from Ravana. They only come from the Extremes. Other interesting things we need to pick up. Let's see. We need to craft a stuffed goblin. That is technically housing furniture. That is found under... Let me pull that up real quick. Where... That is leather worker. And it's going to be under housing. Tabletop stuffed goblin. We need to make one of these as an intermediate ingredient for one of the final crafts. Now, there's a whole bunch of weird things we need to pick up. I'm just going to go through real quick, go through all 10 of them, let you know where they come from. We need a steel wheel bearing, which comes from time-worn wyvern skin maps. We need a steel mainspring, which comes from Highland Exploration 18 Ventures. We need 4 red Moko grass, which comes from Free Company Airships. 5 iron giant scraps, which comes from Field Exploration 18 Ventures. So that is going to be Field, I believe, is... Field should be combat jobs, and Highland should be mining. We need 3 iron giant cores, which come from Free Company Airships. We need 4 glaze nuts, which comes from gardening, which you can only do on player housing or Free Company housing. It can't be an apartment, though. We need 2 exquisite buttons, which come from, looks like basically any of the A Realm Reborn treasure maps. We need 2 of those. We need blood peppers, 4 of them, which comes from more gardening. We need 3 Atomos Corpulences, which come very rarely. I haven't actually found one yet from from Time Worn Wyvern Skin maps. I ended up buying a lot of this off the market board. And I would recommend you do the same. Even just buy the final minions and bardings off the market board if you need to. Last weird thing we need to get is floss silk, which you can get from the Curious Crop Exchange, which can be found in basically any housing area. You'll trade 1 Void Drake for which you get from gardening to get 1 floss silk, and we need 2 floss silk total. Yeah, awesome. There's a lot of weird things we need to collect for this crafting session, so I just got most of it off the market board. In terms of the actual final crafts, they're all going to be from Mastercraft 3 recipes. Anyways, we have the Atrophied Atomos. Putting money where this Void Sense mouth is merely results in devoured money. Makes sense. Clockwork Barrow. Take a load off your shoulders, you deserve it. Iron Dwarf. He prefers the term Little Iron Person. That feels like a joke that did not age well. We have Expanse Barding for Bismarck theme barding. We have Hive Barding, Ravana theme barding. We have the steam-powered Gobwalker G7. Gobwalker exhaust can be used to steam hams. Speaking of, I'm recording this on the 30th anniversary of that episode airing. We've got the Wind-Up Illuminatus. Comes complete with 2 hands, both blue as an Illuminati baby's bum. Wind-Up Ifrit. It doesn't bleed. You cannot kill it. But you may discard it at your leisure. We're not doing that. Wind-Up Bismarck. The hairiest whale you will see this fortnight. And finally, wind up Ravana for the minions. Low on low he stands, gazing up to sea. I believe that is lyrics from his song. Finally, the Orchestrion rolls. We've got Limitless Blue and Woe That Is Madness, both from Bismarck's Trial. And we have the Hand That Gives the Rose. And Unbending Steel, both from Ravana's Trial. Okay, that is a whole bunch of crafting out of the way. Let's go over the minion guide real quick. We got stuff on page 2. There's the Atrophied Atomos. While the means by which this otherworldly devourer of ether became trapped in a treasure coffer is most certainly a mystery worthy of further investigation, the real question on everyone's mind here is, why did you let it out? Let all know that a new threat to the peace has emerged from the 6th Astral Era Crier. Oh no! A true, terrifying threat I have unleashed upon the world. The Iron Dwarf, what was reported as a chance discovery by your mammoth voyager, has actually turned out to be a pet project of the automaton to kill the time while piloting the long journeys to the lonely north. But if you've got iron in your veins, speak up, from Randwolf. Next up, steam-powered Gobwalker G7. This tiny machine is a prototype for the newest model of steam-powered war machina being mass-produced by the fanatical goblin academics known as the Illuminati. Over 1,000 crabs were caught, studied, and subsequently devoured to perfect the current design. Spill bladder not over unstrung fire booms of Illuminati from Brayflox. Next up, the Wind-Up Illuminatus, originally conceived by Illuminati machinists as a means of displaying their society's scientific superiority. The schematics for this automaton were stolen along with a secret recipe for goblin cheese during Brayflox's now legendary raid of an Illuminati stronghold. Oh, this came about from our raid of Brayflox Long Sub Hard. Illuminati can never be trusted from Backrix. Next up, we have Wind-Up Ifrit. Oh my god, you're adorable! To celebrate your slaying of the fell primal, the Weavers Guild crafted scores of these lifelike replicas, which were, much to the chagrin of Old Oz's youth, immediately snatched up by wealthy collectors and locked away for no one to see. Ifrit's fiery piss, just how many of these damn rogues are there? From Quimperane. Wind-Up Ravana, desiring that the tale of Ravana's clash with the Warrior of Light be preserved for posterity, a Noth historian commissioned the Weavers Guild to recreate the Lord of the Hive as a mammoth. Comes complete with Chandrahas and fierce love of battle. O Lord Ravana, master of the sacred blades, wrath of the colony, conqueror of the world, from the Noth priest. Wind-Up Bismarck, seeing limbs of Lominsa crawling with Wind-Up Ifrit's, Titans, Ramus, even Ravana's, the Bismarck proprietor wondered why there was still no automata designed in the likeness of his establishment's namesake, and so commissioned one made. The Bismarck is as good as mine, from Himasi Tia. Okay, next up, page 5, we have the Barrow, the Clockwork Barrow. This self-propelled handcar was purchased from the Oak Atrium as a prize for the Great Loam Growers Gizzle Green Growing Contest. The cart, however, was never awarded, for on the final day of the competition, it was discovered Violkin had devoured all the entries. May Zoga singe his arse on what's left of the way, and from Craftsman Bogu. Alright, that is all of our minions. Next up, let's go to our Free Company house real quick. We mentioned Free Company airships. My Free Company hasn't gotten started on gardening yet, though we do have plots ready. This is just the Free Company house that my raiding group decided to set up together, just so we would have a place to have a house and do housing related stuff. One of our members' chocobos is stabled right now, though we have been neglecting the stable. We're over here in Shirogane, which is a Stormblood location. Don't worry about it. Before we head into the entrance, I do want to go do some shopping real quick. Just to pick a few things up that are relevant to what we're about to be doing. And we're going to do a brief tour of the house. And then we're going to go show Free Company airships. Company credit exchange from the resident caretaker. We want to pick up, I'll just get 99 ceruleum tanks, it's fine. Also Void Drake seeds, so you can grow Void Drakes. Which you can then trade for those various crafting supplies. Alright, getting back to our house. This was like our second favorite location when we were scouting houses. There's also a place down here. I think it's... Oh, it's this one. This is the one we wanted to get. That has like a hidden beach over here with a hot spring. We really, really wanted it, but this is another really good one. It's got a secret path up here. There is an actual hot spring over here, like an official one. There's also a path leading up. I believe this leads up to the hot spring. There's also this path over here, which goes above our house. Nice little overlook. And coming up here, we have the Shirakumo Hot Springs. I believe we can climb up further with some just clever jumps. Not quite sure how high we can go, but there is a secret shrine up here, which is neat. Anyways, getting back to our house, let's go actually take a look at the house. We'll do a brief tour. I warn you, we have not put that much effort into decorating it yet. We've been slowly... It's the outside that is the most decorated. The inside, we've just kind of been throwing things in there. Just any furniture we find that we like, we're throwing in there. We don't have a theme. We're still working on it. We're still figuring it out. Somebody picked up a Happy Bunny from Eureka, which we will get to. I love Eureka. I love Eureka so much. I don't got anything on the second floor. On the first floor, we basically have the Happy Bunny. We've got an Adventures pack. Someone put a cake right in the middle of the floor. We're just gonna leave it there. Do I have... I need to put out one of the fishing pole kits I got. Right, downstairs. Downstairs, we've got kind of like a little kitchen area. Still getting it set up. Got a few couches over here for hanging out. And then over here, we've got some weird shit. We have a giant book from the Great Google Library. And then I picked up this from the Dawn Trail Treasure Dungeons. It's just a giant, like, DJ booth. Sure, that's a thing. Yeah, again, we don't really have a theme. We're just kind of throwing things in here. We'll figure out a theme eventually, I'm sure. I'm not showing you my room yet. It's completely undecorated. But yeah, we've got a Free Company workshop over here. Every Free Company comes with one for free. And we do most of the crafting. Well, you do the crafting in your crafting log, and then you deliver your final crafts over here. Which, we don't have any active crafts going right now. We are trying to rank up one of our airships so that we can equip its pieces to it, and then we'll use the leftover pieces to build our third airship. But looking at our airship management, yeah, we have not named this one yet. I apologize. As for Eggbug's Advent, most of our Free Company are former co-host members. Anyways, we can take a look at the last thing we sent out the airship on. We can finalize the report. Got a few, looks like just 3 logs out of it. I'll stick those in the Grand Company chest, or Free Company chest. And then I want to send it back out on the same trek. We're sending it to Sector 19 right now, trying to unlock new sectors. We only have, I think, 2 left to unlock? You don't have to watch the cutscene every time. And then Airship 2, we still haven't named it. Right now I'm just sending it out on trips to try and level it up so that it can go to more places. We'll just send it out again. Actually, hold on. Let's actually show the map, especially since, ooh, it hit rank 21, nice. We got a whole bunch of items out of that trek. But yeah, just sending it out on a voyage. Let's send it to 8, 7. I think we can do the same route as before, but we've got a whole bunch of sectors we can send our ships to based on what rank they are. And the different, the number of sectors I send it to, well, the more sectors you send the ship to on one trip, the more cerulean tanks of fuel it'll take. So you need to stock up on those cerulean tanks. And then the order that you select to send the ship out will actually affect like how long the trek will be. Let's see, how do I want to do this? You can send it on up to 5 sectors. Though the parts you actually have equipped on your airship will also affect how able it is to get around. There's 5 different stats: surveillance, retrieval, speed, range, and favor. Surveillance is just, I'm not quite sure what all the stats do. I know retrieval is the number of items you get, or maybe it's high quality items. Speed is just how long the voyage takes. Range is how far the ship can actually travel, so how many places you can actually go to. I don't fully understand the full mechanics of it. But let's see, where do I want to send you? Let's do 4, 7, 8, 5 maybe? Yeah, it's fine. 2 days and 43 minutes. I can figure out a better route. But yeah, this is just kind of what the menu looks like. I think I'm actually just going to redeploy it on the same voyage it went on before. So it went 2, 7, 5, 6. Okay, we do have access to 8 now. That is new. So let's do 5, 7, 8. I can squeeze a few more in, it looks like. Maybe just one more in. Which one do I want to send it to? Maybe 2, 5, 7, 8? 2, 5, 7, 8. There we go. That looks like a good route. Out you go. Also, as you send the ships out on voyages, the parts will receive wear. You need to use Magitech repair materials in order to repair the ships. And that is something that you actually end up crafting. But yeah, no. Free company airships. Really, really simple. You're just pick a route on the map. Different sectors have different bits of loot. It's an interesting little thing that you just send out your ship out on like once every few days or so. No, I don't want to eat the cake. But you can get some nice rewards out of it. There is a mount from the very last sector that I want to get for my entire free company. But I'm working on that. Anyways, let's get back to Limsa, and I will be back with the next part of this episode, as I think we're going to make our next tier of Crafter and Gatherer gear next. So that'll be the item level 170 Crafter and Gatherer gear. So I'll be back when I am ready for that. Alright, we are back. I went ahead and got the crafting done for our next tier of Crafter and Gatherer gear. Went ahead and pulled the old materia off of the old gear. Just to help me with redoing the materia. I got most of the materia done. Let me just pull up my notes on how my stats have changed. Let's see. The old stats with materia for the old gear was for crafters, 731 for craftsmanship, 733 for control, and 401 for crafter points. Equipping the new gear is going to put us at 846, 854, and 412. Awesome. And then, unfortunately, the only things we were able to craft are the accessories and the primary and secondary tools. There are also left side body gear available, but the left side body gear is all job specific. So there's specifically a carpenter set, and a blacksmith set, and a miner set, and a fisher set. So while I could craft the item level 170 left-hand gear, there's also shared gear for all the crafters and all the gatherers, that's item level 170, that comes in patch 3.3. And also, our stats are way above what they really need to be. So I don't think we need that 170 left side gear yet. It would take a lot of crafting, it would take a lot of materia to meld, and it would take a lot of armory chest space as well, so decided not to do that yet. But got a nice upgrade, so let's go ahead and make sure we've equipped everything. Unfortunately, I was not able to fully meld everything. There are definitely some melds I was not able to finish. The shared gear I was able to meld completely because it is the shared gear, so it's priority. The individual tools, those I only partially melded. I bought out the market boards today of all the reasonably priced materia that I could find. It got expensive. I spent well over 1 million gil. Actually, maybe it was approaching 1 million. Sorry, well over is probably an exaggeration. I spent around 1 million gil though. It was expensive. The gatherers notably did not have any new primary tools at 170. They did have secondary tools and they did have accessories, but no primary tools. So gatherers are a little behind in that regard, but it's fine. For gatherer stats, the miner and botanist went from 681, 686, and 671 up to 730, 741, and 688. Pretty nice upgrades there. Plus 50 on basically all of the main stats. Well, plus 50 on gathering, plus 60-ish, 55-ish on perception, and then plus almost 20 on gathering points. For Fisher, since there's no secondary tool, more modest upgrade went from 564, 473, and 667 up to 574, 483, and 683. So plus 10, and plus 6, I want to say. Still, upgrades are upgrades. Overall, big upgrades all around, which is nice. I'm going to make future crafts a bit easier. As for what the actual crafts were, they were all going to be... All the crafts we did were were level 60, Mastercraft 3, 2-star crafts, and we are actually already approaching the stats required. Are we already? We are 4 shorts on craftsmanship of the stats required for quick crafting or quick synthesis on this gear. So yeah, we are very much above where we need to be in terms of crafting. We are doing fine. We do not need to have the item level 170 left side gear yet. Interesting things to go over with the gathering and crafting for this. Lots of time nodes. There were a few new time nodes from Heavensward. I highly recommend using tools like Teamcraft in order to help you with your crafting and gathering. It is a lot of extra time and a lot of extra effort to basically just read off a list. I would highly recommend tools like Teamcraft. Also, I am going way, way beyond what you actually need to do. For the most part, you could just buy script gear and be done with it. Because starting in Heavensward, there is script gear available for purple crafter script and purple gatherer script, or whatever the current uncapped, non-level cap script is. And it's not too expensive. It's like, what, 225 script for a tool, I want to say? I'm not actually touching the script gear, so I'm not paying attention to that. But script gear is pretty quick and easy way to get all of the gear you could possibly need for crafters and gatherers while you're catching up. You really do not need to go through and do all the in-detail crafts that I'm doing. But seriously, I do highly recommend Teamcraft. It is a fantastic tool for helping you with your crafting and gathering. But interesting things, there were a few new time nodes in Heavensward. There was a lot of desynthesis for ethereal reduction to get ether sand. Needed a lot of landborne and leafborne ether sand. And then a little bit of seaborne ether sand, just 2 seaborne. There was a lot of crafter and some... was there any gatherer script? There was definitely a lot of... Oh, it's just crafter script. Okay. There was a lot of materials that we needed from the script exchanges for purple crafter script, including 8 Mastercraft Demi Materia and 46 Fieldcraft Demi Materia 3s. And then a few basic crafting materials. Razic Coat, Purified Coke, Odorless Animal Fat, and Dryad Sap. Honestly, I think that's the most interesting part of this crafting, is just how much we needed purple script. In total, if I had grinded all the purple script myself, it would have cost 16,950 purple crafter script to make this set of gear. I got a lot of off the market board, and I also kind of cheated. I had my main use a very easy source of purple crafter script to get a bunch of purple crafter script, buy a bunch of the materials I needed, and then use our free company to smuggle it over to myself, which I think is technically cheating, but it's not against any rules. I'm in my own free company on both accounts, so no big deal. I can just do that. If it's tradable, I can do it. But a long time ago, they removed the ability to trade with yourself, with your own alts, or send letters to your own alts, specifically to avoid item smuggling, but free companies are still an option for item smuggling, so that's funny. Hopefully they don't remove that. Hopefully that's not an exploit that they intend to remove, because it's very convenient. Yeah, no, that's about all the interesting stuff for this set of crafting and gathering. It was a primary and secondary tool for all of the crafters, a secondary tool for all the gatherers except for Fisher because they don't have a secondary tool yet, and then a set of accessories for both crafters and gatherers, including 2 rings. Giving me a nice upgrade. Getting very caught up on those item levels. It's inching closer and closer to being caught up to combat item levels. But yeah, no, I wanted to go over that real quick, just a quick summary of what I did. The next thing that we are going to be doing today is triple triad and then a few miscellaneous notes. So I'll be back once I finish up the triple triad grind. Alright, we are back with the triple triad update. There were only 2 NPCs I was able to fight today. Mostly because the other NPCs that we need to go after are locked behind side quests that we still haven't done, so I need to get around to that, and I'm working on it. There's just a lot of side quests. But the NPCs we did fight, I've got my notes right here. I had my notes up, and then they vanished. I just have the worst luck with this. They always seem to wander away right as I need them. Alright, catching up from patch 3.0, we fought Marthachamp over in the Dravanian Forelands. Had to catch up on the Dravanian Forelands side quest in order to be able to access him, and he just gave me the Azael card. From patch 3.1, we fought Seika over in Idyllshire, and she gave me the Crawler, Pirogo, and Round Rocks cards. Alright, let's go ahead and grab those out of our Chocobo bag, all 4 of them. Sort my inventory. I was just doing some crafting a little bit ago, so it's a little bit of a mess. We got the Azael card, the Crawler card, the Parogo card, and the Round Rocks card. Nice. We're still missing a few from up through patch 3.1. Let me take a look. Yeah, we have all the cards from patch 3.0, so with the exception of the ones on the very last page, we're caught up with everything through base game Heavensward. For patch 3.1, we're missing 5 cards. One is from the Void Arc. I'm still working on that. I'm doing a run 4 times a week, hoping to get it. And then the other 4 cards are from NPCs that we just need to clear side quests first before they'll let us fight them. Right, there's also 2 cards we need to buy. And that is going to be from patch 3.1, the Julianne Manderville card and the Senior Sabotender card. You may notice I have a whole bunch of weapons in my inventory. I need to clear out my armory chest so these will actually fit in, but we did do a bunch of grinding of Thordan Extreme unsynced with a friend. Autumn was available to help me out with the grind, the big grind, and we were able to get a few bits of loot out of that. Let's head on to Idleshire. What we did was we did a total of 15 clears of Thordan Extreme. Each time you clear Thordan Extreme, he will drop one of these Heavensward Helm Fragments. These can be traded for various rewards here in Idleshire, including you can trade for specific weapons if you're just not dropping from the Extreme, or you can trade for the mount if you get to 99 of them, or for 15 of them, and I guess going into Primal Gear 2 maybe? Here we go. Here's where you can do your trades for specific weapons. But if we go down, the Round Table Barding. There is a Barding for Thordan Extreme that takes 15 clears of Thordan Extreme. So we got that. And we got the Round Lantern Whistle, which is the mount for Thordan. This whistle emits a shrill tone that is said to summon a legendary Falcon of the Heavens. Alright, and let's check out that mount as well while we're at it. These birds are possessed of dignity equal to the noble personages whom they serve. Ancient Ishgardian knights often indulged themselves in falconry, and lanterns were revered for their abilities, their Lynchian eyes being well suited for sighting prey on the ground. For the glory of King Thordan, from fucking Zephyrin! Alright, we did also pick up, where is it? Maybe it's in my regular inventory. We also picked up a Faded Orchestrion roll from... Oh, I got 6 copies of it. We picked up 6 copies of the Faded Orchestrion roll for Heroes from Thordan. Let's see, what do we need for this? Raw materials list. I'm gonna do some gathering real quick. I've got a good chunk of this. We got the spring water. I need to get the dragon blood, the potash out of my retainers. So 1 and 2. The rest can be gathered, and I believe we have red Moko grass from our free company airship. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, here we are. We should have everything to make the Heroes Orchestrion roll, and we don't need to make it high quality because there's no point in that, so... Why is Reflect over here? Right, because I usually macro craft, so I don't pay attention to my hotbars, which is not a great habit. Go to make Heroes. Don't need it to be high quality because it doesn't matter for Orchestrion rolls. Now, let's see. What else are we missing right now? We're still missing the triple Triad card from Thordan Extreme. It only comes from Thordan Extreme, which is irritating. We're still missing the triple Triad card from the Void Arc. There's a few other minor things that we're missing here and there. There's a Savage mount that we need to get, but we will get to Savage eventually. There's a few other things from patch 3.1 that I'm going to be getting pretty soon, actually. Largely stuff from the Gundu tribe. There's a few things from content that got removed and then re-added in Shadowbringers, so I might not get around to that until Shadowbringers, so that's Gonna be interesting. That's gonna be a loose thread for a while. Unless I get it from... Ooh, there's another way to get it. Okay, interesting. There's a few things that are gonna be a loose threads for a while, but we're almost completely caught up on loot, which is really neat. Just those 2 triple triad cards, a Savage mount once we get around to doing Savage eventually. And if we come over here to the Centurio Seal exchanges, there should be... We need the Ishgardian Barding. That is new to us. That is from patch 3.0. Anything else I want to get with Centurio Seals right now? Well, I do need to get the riding maps. That's going to be a very high priority. And we'll hold off on this. Let's start getting the riding maps, because that's going to give us some mount speed increases. That's going to be very valuable. Grab that Ishgardian Barding. And I think that should be good for collectibles for patch 3.1 for now. There's still obviously more to get. There's still quite a bit more we need to get, but we're basically caught up, which is terrifying and exciting. Okay, last notes before we finish off this miscellaneous episode. Just covering miscellaneous topics. For the first step of the relic grind, it ended up taking me 56 fates to get 18 crystals, which came out to a drop rate of about 32%, or roughly 1 drop every 3 fates, which is about what I'm seeing online as well. It's not great data, that's a very low sample size, but it's also pretty decent. It's not the worst sample size. I feel reasonably confident that 1 in 3 is probably a reasonable, at least estimate of the drop rate for that first step for doing the fates. Also, Pharaoh Sirius, since Mimidoa thinks I am my own daughter, I went ahead and took a look at the dates, because I do keep track of the timeline for Satora and the rest of the party, who I have not actually been writing their story all that much recently, which is the problem. But the first time we went into Pharaoh Sirius was the 6th year of the 7th Astral Era. It would have been Astral Era because it was post Rumbleborn. The 4th Umbral month, 28th day, and going into Pharaoh Sirius Hard would have been the 8th year of the 7th Astral Era, 2nd Astral month, 5th day. So that would be about 1.5 years. Yeah, roughly equivalent to just very, very rough. From August 28th of the 6th year to March 5th of the 8th year. So about 1.5 years between the 2 visits to Pharaoh Sirius. And he somehow thinks I'm my own daughter? Incredible. Anyways, that is about it for the miscellaneous topics episode. This one ended up being a bit long. That's probably to be expected. I do think I want to keep doing this in the future. With these miscellaneous topics, it's just a good way to consolidate a whole bunch of things that are hard to fit elsewhere. But for now, next time on Final Fantasy XIV, it's time to go fishing. It's time to catch the patch 3.1 fish. And how many fish do we actually need to catch? I actually don't know how far into the next page it goes, but probably around here? Yeah, I think we need to catch all of these fish. Awesome, that's going to be fun. I will see everyone next time for a bunch of fishing.